Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to Let's Talk About America's iconic bald eagle. Now, I'm going to be honest, it's a bird that I don't really know anything about. I know obviously the sort of the symbol that it has, but in terms of what the eagle actually does, I don't know. I just sort of, when I hear the name eagle, it's just sort of like a bird on steroids. Like, it's just a stronger bird that can do things that small little pigeons and stuff can't really do. Like, an eagle's like this powerful bird that can, I don't know, just, I guess, just has power and can do a lot of other things that you wouldn't associate with other birds. But yeah, I don't know much about eagles, birds, anything like that. So I'm going to go into this, obviously learn. Firstly, I guess he's going to be talking about the symbolism and sort of how it led to be sort of have the image that it is today for America. And maybe he'll talk about what it actually does, because I don't really know. Is it a eagle that will kill prey, or will it sort of get prey once it's dead? I don't know. Do they even eat meat? I'm not sure. I assume they do. But yeah, we're going to check this out and see and learn about the bald eagle.
To me, growing up in Britain, the bird on your screen often felt like a mythical creature on par with dragons, fairies, and the other member of Wham! As with yellow school buses, I assumed that their numbers were embellished in American popular culture merely to satisfy a television trope. And to some degree, I was right, but since moving to the United States, I've learned that not only is America's national bird real, it is so fascinating that it warrants stock footage of a person being surprised. And 1 year after becoming a proud US citizen myself, I felt strongly that my channel should soar into the new year by taking a closer look at this very bird. I'm Lawrence, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to bald eagles. And if you want to see my channel take off in 2024 and haven't had a chance to subscribe, do that now. In the meantime, here's everything that you don't need to know about the bald eagle, but that I'm going to tell you anyway.
Come on. Jeff Bezos.
It might be called the bald eagle, but with a thick bob of white hair, it's no Jeff Bezos. In fact, the name has nothing to do with bald in the sense of Jeff Bezos. Indeed, when it was given its name in the 1600s, the word bald meant white-haired. And unlike Jeff Bezos, the bald eagle cannot be found in the Amazon. Instead, it is entirely endemic to North America, making it the only sea eagle who can say this.
So that's the start, then. I guess that's one reason as to why it's iconic to America, because it's only found in North America. So there's only 3 countries it can, I guess, necessarily be found in.
Not that bald eagles can speak, even their avian language sounds nothing like what our silly brains have come up with. More on that later. But how much of North America does the bald eagle actually occupy? Well, its range covers northern Mexico, most of Canada, and all 49 US states.
Jeez.
Hang on, the US has 50
Well, I guess it's not going to reach Alaska, right?
states. Ah yes, I forgot to mention, bald
Hawaii, of course, not Alaska.
eagles are nowhere to be found on the island state of Hawaii, where the state bird is the nene, which boasts the total opposite of a bald head in both senses of the word. On the other hand, the place with the most bald eagles is the other state that always gets left off maps, Alaska. In the last
They're predominantly in Alaska, so I guess they're like cold regions then. Although they are in North America, in North Mexico.
Frontier state, there are no fewer than 30,000 of them, which is not surprising, given that Alaska has the longest coastline in the Union. Of course, young Lawrence wouldn't have understood this connection. Television gave me the impression that bald eagles just hung out near mountains and flags, but their existence relies on their proximity to bodies of water. This explains why Minnesota and Florida, 2 of the nation's flattest states, surprisingly boast the next highest amounts. You see, the former is...
Oh, so maybe they don't care about the cold then, because Florida, I mean, if they're predominantly there as well, then maybe it's just, I guess it's all just based around water then.
Known for its vast network of lakes, and the latter for having the longest coastline in the lower 48. So it was fitting that on a body of water, I myself met bald eagles for the very first time.
Idaho.
But when I say met, it's not like I had a choice. I'd signed up for a boat tour, and the tour guide was one of those aren't I hilarious types, but with infuriatingly precise local knowledge. 2 minutes into the journey, he uttered one of the 2 major tour guide tropes.
And on your right...
Oh yeah? What's on my right? You can't make me look.
On your right are some trees.
Wow, amazing.
And at the top of those trees, if you look closely, you might see a white head poking out.
Better not be Jeff Bezos. At that moment, as if somebody had planned the whole thing in advance, the white head started flying with haste toward the boat. I should point out that the rest of their body was attached. It moved closer and closer, and just when I thought its talons were coming for me personally, it changed course at the last second and kidnapped a trout.
Don't worry, folks. While on rare occasions bald eagles have been known to attack humans, they normally have bigger fish to fry.
They hunt fish. What the fuck? Eagle eyes.
Please, don't let tour guides fool you. These birds, magnificent though they are, have no idea what a stovetop is. But they do eat lots of fish. In fact, I'm not sure I've seen an animal so proficient at plucking such small things from such large bodies of water. Except for me, of course. Memos, mostly. Their ability to do this is aided by the fact that bald eagles can see 4 to 5 times farther than humans. Jesus. This is probably why the building where I spent my honeymoon was named the Eagle's Nest, because you can see for miles and miles. It was also pretty spacious, just like an actual eagle's nest.
Ow.
Fun fact, no single North American bird builds a larger nest than the bald eagle. In fact, the average nest...
That's not a surprise. I would assume it's probably a bird that has a big nest. Although this is massive. This is a whole flipping penthouse.
Weighs in at around 1,000 pounds, about 4 Seamuses. And the fact that they're breaking records for residential space tells us 2 things. Number 1, their fondness for big houses is probably what makes them America's national bird. And number 2,
Very true.
They need all that space to accommodate a 6'6" wingspan, basically 1 Seamus.
See, they are massive. 6'6" wingspan. They are huge. What the fuck?
And given the frankly absurd setup time, it's just as well that these partners for life return to the same nest each year. More so because they bring 2 to 3 juveniles into the world each time. I bet Christmas is fun. Of course, winter is when many of the northern eagles head south, however, 37 years ago.
Oh, so they don't like the extreme colds then? I'm there thinking they like the cold, but I guess when it gets cold, they'll move, they'll migrate.
One bird didn't get the memo. In 1987, the nation of Ireland was the unlikely destination of a bald eagle that got lost, almost in the pond. The bird was spotted on the southwest coast of the country under apparent exhaustion, having flown 3,000 miles. But here's the good news. After being nursed back to health, it was returned to the US on Aer Lingus. It even got complimentary crackers. Here's the not so good news. Shortly before its first ever plane ride, it tried to fly away in fear after the then Irish Prime Minister, Charles Haughey, ordered a round of applause for the bird. Dear, oh dear.
Sound of
In many ways, it's weird.
Yeah, what sounds do they make? I'm going to try and guess. I was going to do an owl sound. What? What sounds do eagles make? Do they make sounds? I'm going to assume they don't even make sound. They can just sense. That's the way they talk to each other. They just sense stuff to each other through the brain, like a link.
To think of a frail bald eagle, mostly because the bird is so synonymous with American freedom and strength. Indeed, when I think of it, I still wistfully picture myself on a Harley Davidson going down Route 66 while somebody plays Born to be Wild in the background. But then I hear it cry. Despite its ass-kicking reputation, the bald eagle sounds nothing like how it does in the movie.
This could ruin my perception of it completely. I'm thinking it's like this alpha male bird. If it's like a little squeak, get that away from me.
You're expecting the Balrog, but what you get is this. I've not been so surprised by somebody's voice since I heard that of 26th US President Theodore Roosevelt, who, in case you're wondering, sounded like this.
The principles for which we stand are the principles of fair play.
Nonetheless,
Wait, he sounds English. What?
Which we stand are the principles.
Well, I'm just going to search. What? Theodore Roosevelt. What? That has baffled me. Theodore. Why does he sound... That is so weird to me. Maybe because I was born in a time where the accents weren't as predominant, maybe? That's baffled me over. He sounds like he's from flipping Kent or something. What the fuck?
Of fair play.
Nonetheless, bald eagles might well raise a wing to Mr. Roosevelt. By popularizing American conservation efforts, it could be argued that in a roundabout way he helped prevent their extinction.
Illegal activity.
Because the thing that surprised me the most is that by the 20th century, this became a genuine possibility. During the 1600s, it's estimated that there were perhaps 500,000 of these birds in what is today the United States. By the 1960s, there were only 1,000. Their decline was partly attributed to landowners shooting them because they, the landowners, subscribed to an unfounded belief that the eagles posed a risk to livestock. But another major factor emerged in the middle of the 20th century, DDT. And I'm not referring to the wrestling maneuver. DDT, or as you and I call it, dichlorodiphenyl trichloroethane, was a pesticide to stop mosquitoes spreading malaria. And it was very successful at this. There's just one problem. DDT caused many problems. Did anybody edit this script? Chief among these was eggshell thinning. Most biologists believe that eggshell thinning impeded successful reproduction among several birds of prey, including ospreys and, yes, bald eagles. It seemed America's most famous bird was heading the way of the dodo, with 43 of the lower 48 states declaring it an endangered species. But then, as we marched toward a new millennium, everything changed. In fact, the seeds for its recovery were planted as early as 1940, when the Bald Eagle Protection Act was signed into law. This made it illegal for Americans to possess, sell, or hunt the bald eagle. However, it would be the 1970s when the eagles got their big break, following the passage of the Endangered Species Act, but also the hit single Take It Easy. The Endangered Species Act helped to ensure habitat protection for many endangered animals in the United States. However, debate continues as to its effect on the bald eagle's recovery, because in 1972 another legal milestone was reached, the nationwide ban on DDT. Either way, since the turn of the 80s, the bald eagle's population has
Living good now. Living very good.
soared.
God, it got close. That is wild. That is absolutely insane. Look how close it was to extinction.
To the extent that in 2007 it was completely removed from the endangered species list. As of 2024, the US is home to approximately 316,000 bald eagles exactly.
A lot. Is there like a disadvantage to that? Like, because it's, I would say it's quite a powerful bird. Is that not affecting other like species and stuff, or is it just one of those things that, like, if it's only going for fish are less likely to go extinct anyway? I guess maybe certain species are just of fish are never going to go extinct, or just there's so many of them, there's no worry of it at this moment in time. But it's prospering, which is obviously good to see, the bald eagle.
Growing up in Britain, I vaguely understood the iconic bond between Americans and the bald eagle. But I didn't realise the extent to which the bird is embedded in American society and the Cracker Barrel gift shop. When the Founding Fathers declared it our national bird in 1782, they did so because of its uniqueness to North America and not because it looked like James Madison. But its comeback from near extinction reminds us of another American trait, that the United States will always do the right thing, but only after trying everything else. I'd like to finish this video by raising a massive water flask to the bald eagle, one of the world's greatest conservation success stories.
What?
And if bird talk is your sort of thing,
Wait.
click this video next to get the lowdown on the American mourning dove. Until the next video, goodbye.
Wait, you can literally now just
Flying with haste toward the
skip through a video if you just tap on your mouse.
boat. I should point out that the rest of their body was attached. It moved closer and closer, and just when I thought it...
What the fuck? That was an accident. I was lucky enough to grow up watching these amazing predators hunt on the Mississippi River. Seeing them swoop down and snag a fish or other bird was amazing. So they go for other birds too. Plus, holding one as a kid was epic. They do seem pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this reaction. I'm assuming maybe some of you learned stuff here as well. I guess some of you probably just knew all of this. You're like the expert on bald eagles. And this is just touching the surface. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this reaction. And yeah, until next time, let's subscribe. And peace.